Hey everyone, welcome back to D&D Daily English. I'm Dan, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host Daphne. How you doing today, Daphne?
I'm very well, thank you, Dan. Glad to be here. And I have to say, today's story is rather unusual, even by our standards.
Right? It really is. Okay, so you know how data centers, those giant buildings full of computers, have been going to some pretty wild places. Microsoft once put one under the sea. Elon Musk has talked about putting them in space. Well, today we're talking about a UK company that wants to put data centers inside street lampposts. Yes, lampposts, the lights on the side of the road.
That's correct. The company is called Conflow Power Group Limited, CPG for short, and they are based in Warwickshire, England. They have created a product called the iLamp. It is a smart lamppost powered by solar energy, and it contains a small computer chip inside.
So let's break that down. Each eye lamp has a cylindrical, that means round and tube-shaped, solar panel. That panel charges a battery, and that battery powers a small but capable computer chip made by NVIDIA. The chip only uses 15 watts of power. That's about the same as a small light bulb. So the sun powers the lamp, and the lamp powers the computer. Pretty neat idea, honestly.
The chairman of CPG, Edward Fitzpatrick, explained it to the BBC this way. He said that NVIDIA created a chip small enough and low-powered enough to run inside a streetlight using only solar energy. And when you connect thousands of these lampposts together, they can work as one large distributed AI data center.
Think of it like this. One ant can't carry a heavy rock, but 10,000 ants working together, that rock moves. That's basically the idea here. One lamppost can't do much computing, but 50,000 of them connected together? That's a different story. And speaking of 50,000, CPG has signed an agreement with Katsina, a state in Nigeria, to install exactly that many eye lamps there.
That is a significant deal. And Nigeria is not the only target market. Fitzpatrick mentioned that Africa is a key location for this business because there is plenty of sunshine and regulations there are, in his words, more relaxed. There are also advanced negotiations with schools and local authorities in Florida, in the United States.
Now, these lampposts aren't just tiny computers. They also act as AI-powered cameras. In Nigeria, the cameras will be able to detect things like speeding cars, parking violations, and whether drivers are wearing seatbelts. There are also eye lamps already installed at a hospital car park in Warwick, England, doing number plate recognition and CCTV monitoring.
And Fitzpatrick mentioned the possibility of using facial recognition to identify wanted or missing persons. That is where things become more complicated. Experts in privacy advocates have raised concerns about bias, misuse, and loss of privacy. CPG says they will only use such technology in full compliance with local laws and in partnership with relevant authorities.
Yeah, that's a big conversation, and an important one. But let's also talk about what experts are saying about the technology itself. Is this actually a real alternative to traditional data centers? The short answer, according to several experts, is not quite. Not for the heavy stuff.
Precisely. Professor Ian Bitterlin, who has extensive experience in the data center industry, told the BBC that the iLamps would not be able to replace the large data centers used to train major AI language models. The main reason is distance. When thousands of lampposts are spread across a city, the communication between them is too slow for the most demanding AI tasks.
But that doesn't mean they're useless. John Booth from a company called Carbon 3 IT said the iLamps could be a relatively low-cost solution for smaller AI tasks. And Bitterlin added that the lampposts could actually work well as access points, kind of like mobile phone towers, connecting users to larger, more powerful data centers running in the background.
So the picture that emerges is this. The iLamps are not a replacement for large data centers, but they could be a useful supplement, especially in areas where traditional data center infrastructure is limited or expensive to build.
Exactly. And this idea of putting computing power in unusual places, under the sea, in space, in lampposts, it actually makes a lot of sense when you think about it. AI uses a huge amount of energy. Some estimates say AI energy use is already approaching the same level as the entire UK's energy consumption. Finding cheaper and greener ways to power AI is genuinely important.
Indeed, and the solar-powered model does offer an environmental benefit. The lampposts do not draw energy from the main electricity grid, which reduces pressure on existing power systems. That said, there are also practical concerns, including physical security. Fitzpatrick himself acknowledged that if people knew a $2,000 chip was inside each post, some might try to steal it.
Though he did say the posts are designed so the chip gets, and I love this phrase, quote, fried if someone tries to remove it, so good luck with that. As for how the money works, CPG plans to rent out the computing power of the iLamps to AI companies. That income goes into a green bond, which is a type of investment that funds environmentally friendly projects. The money from that bond pays for the installation and maintenance of the lampposts.
And Katsina State in Nigeria will earn revenue from fines collected by the cameras, speeding tickets, parking violations, and so on. After 3 years, CPG begins taking a 20% share of that income. The iLamps will be manufactured in Morocco, Taiwan, and Latvia, though an assembly factory is also being built in Katsina itself.
So let's do a quick vocabulary recap before we wrap up. Today, we covered some useful words. A data center is a large system of computers that stores and processes information. Solar-powered means using energy from the sun. Distributed means spread across many different locations. Processing power means how fast a computer can work. Surveillance means watching people or places for safety. Facial recognition is technology that identifies someone by their face. Compliance means following rules or laws. Revenue is money earned by a business or government. Supplementing means adding to something to improve it. And deploy means to put something into active use somewhere.
Excellent summary. I think the key takeaway from today's story is that innovation in technology does not always mean building something entirely new and enormous. Sometimes it means finding clever ways to use what is already there, like a lamppost on a street corner.
Well said. And honestly, while there are real questions about cost and capability, this is a genuinely interesting idea. Putting computing power out in the world where people actually are, rather than in one huge building drawing enormous amounts of electricity. That's a direction worth exploring. All right, everyone, that's our episode for today. Thanks so much for listening to D&D Daily English. Keep practicing, keep curious, and we'll see you next time.
Cheerio, everyone. See you next episode.